It is now our honor to introduce our keynote speaker, representing the Department of National Defense, a steadfast partner in our national disaster risk reduction and management efforts. Please welcome Officer in Charge, Undersecretary of National Defense, Yusek Angelito M. De Leon.
Maraming salamat sa ating MC for the introduction. Gusto ko muna pong banggitin at bigyan pugay ang ilan sa matataas na opisyal na ating kapiling ngayong umaga sa Second Earthquake Preparedness Summit. Una ko pong gustong bigyan pugay si Undersecretary Ariel F. Nepomuceno, the Administrator of OCD. Palakpakan po natin siya. Of course, Undersecretary Marlo Iringan of the DILG, sir. Undersecretary Diana Rose Cahipe of DSWD, ma'am. Undersecretary Randy Escolango of DHSUD. The Assistant Secretaries of the Office of Civil Defense, ASEC Jacqueline Joy Casipit and ASEC Carlos Bathan. Hindi ko po dapat makalimutan ang aming isang iniidolo, hindi lamang sa sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas when we're still in the service, but of course, a champion on disaster preparedness, Vice Admiral Alexander Pama, sir. Of ARICE, and Engineer Liz Silerio of ARICE also, ma'am. From PhilVox, Director Jeffrey Perez, sir. Fellow workers in government, the different local government unit representatives, the national government agencies, the uniformed personnel, civil society organizations, friends from the media, other stakeholders, partners on disaster preparedness, ladies and gentlemen, isang magandang at mapagpalang umaga po sa ating lahat. Ang atin pong pinakamamahal na kalihim ng kagawaran ng Tanggulang Pambansa, si Attorney Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., ay nais po sanang makapiling natin sa umagang ito. However, he is now attending to an equally important engagement outside of Metro Manila. That is why he has directed me to represent him and deliver his keynote message. But before delivering and reading his keynote message, allow me to share some perspectives on disaster preparedness as I recall memories when I was still in the service as Chief of Operations G3 of the Philippine Army and as Chief of Operations of the Armed Forces of the Philippines J3, na kung saan po sasabi kong nagkaroon ng kaalam at awareness on disaster preparedness relative to the big one. Noon pong, of course, with the presence here of Admiral Pama as Director OCD, sir, I can still vividly recall the advocacies that the Office of Civil Defense and the various government agencies and local government units have been doing in order for us to be prepared for the big one. Tama po ang sinabi ni Undersecretary Ariel Nepomuceno na sa pag-aaral po ng JICA, MMDA at iba't ibang ahensya, parang napaka-bleak, nakaka-low-moral ang senaryo na ipine-present. Subalit, dapat po lamang na maintindihan natin that this is a given which we have to face squarely. And this is a reality that we have to address. Noong mga panahon ngayon noon, inuumpisahan pong i-advocate ang disaster preparedness for the big one, I can still vividly recall that we were advocating for the periodic conduct of earthquake drills. Mayroon din pong pinag-uusapan noon na body system or sisterhood systems of other agencies or local government units outside of the projected damage area that could come in and assist. Because ang pinag-iisipan po noon na scenario would be the responders will become victims themselves. And tama po yung sinabi ni Yusek Diana, ang mga responders po ay maaring unahin ang safety ng kanilang mga mahal sa buhay. That is why kami po sa Armed Forces of the Philippines noon ay tinitignan ang iba't ibang mga sangay ng sandatang lakas outside of the projected damage area na maari pong pumasok sa Metro Manila. Most especially in establishing effective command and control of all the units that will be involved. And it has evolved over time. As first responders, noong mga panahon na yon, the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the other security services are being given that enormous task of establishing immediate response mechanisms. Subalit nakikita ko po sa ngayon, it has evolved at ang kapabilidad po ng ating local government unit through their respective local disaster risk reduction management entities have developed enormously in order for us to be able to prepare and respond effectively. Kaya nga po, sinasabi ko po kay Yusek Iringan kanina na hindi po ito ay isang alibay, pero tinitignan din po namin ang military golf courses that are open spaces that could be utilized as assembly areas in case the big one strikes. Hindi po ito justification para i-retain namin ang military golf courses, but it is a reality. Napaka-highly urbanized na po ng Metro Manila. Kaya po kahapon nag-uusap nga po kami ni Secretary Teodoro yung BGC, yung BGC area. I narrated to him yung experience natin na yung the fourth strip, which was the first developed area in Bonifacio Global City, na dati po ay kugunan niya na Fort Bonifacio, ay kasalukuyan pong ginigiba, I think, and tatayuan ng probably another high-rise. So na lumiliit po ang open spaces. That is why we have to consider all of this in our urban planning. So yan po ay isang maiksing insights ko na ma-share sa inyo. That was several decades ago when I was still in the service. At ako po ay nagagalak sa nakikita kong pagtitipon at ang kagawaran ng tanggulang pambansa po sa pamumuno ng ating kalihim, si Attorney Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr. ay nagbibigay pugay sa Office of Civil Defense for this very, very timely and very, very important undertaking, which is the second Earthquake Preparedness Summit for the year. So going to the keynote message, allow me to read the Secretary of National Defense keynote message. The specter of the big one, a magnitude 7.2 earthquake, hangs heavy over Metro Manila. It is a chilling reminder of nature's formidable power, a force that can reshape our world in mere seconds. We know the grim reality. In such an event, our beloved metropolis faces potential devastation, with 30,000 to 50,000 projected casualty rate. While the NDRRMC's Harmonized National Contingency Plan, or HNCP, stands as a testament to our preparedness, we must acknowledge that no plan can fully anticipate the sheer scale of destruction that the big one promises. In the immediate aftermath, our government responders will be overwhelmed, our infrastructure crippled, and our communication lines fractured. Amidst the chaos and despair, I see a beacon of hope. The resilience of the Filipino spirit. It is in these moments of crisis that our true strength emerges. Those who rise from the rubble, despite their own trauma, can become the first responders within their communities. doctors, nurses, engineers, firefighters, and even individuals with basic first aid or search and rescue training, you are the lifelines in those critical hours. Your localized knowledge, your understanding of your neighborhood will be invaluable in locating and assisting those trapped or injured. The effectiveness of the HNCP hinges on the swift establishment of order. Survivors, you can contribute by organizing yourselves, clearing debris, establishing temporary shelters, and assisting in the distribution of aid. You can be the vital conduits of information, relaying crucial details to responders. Preparedness goes beyond individual action. It demands a comprehensive approach that prioritizes infrastructure resilience and a unified understanding of DRRM command and control. Our buildings, bridges, and utilities must be designed and constructed to withstand seismic forces. We need stringent building codes, rigorous enforcement, and a commitment to retrofitting vulnerable structures. A 100% integrity audit of our structures should be part of the equation, especially the critical facilities such as hospitals that will provide treatment and healthcare to our people. Taiwan is our gold standard. Remember when it was struck by a magnitude 7.4, fatalities were only minimal, injured up to 1,000. Just how did Taiwan manage to have minimal casualties despite the powerful quake? By spending a decade making their buildings more resilient according to their standards. But having the most resilient infrastructure is not the end-all and be-all. A unified understanding of DRRM command and control is equally indispensable. A clear chain of command, a shared understanding of roles, and standardized protocols are crucial. We need regular drills, simulations, and interagency training. Joining the national simultaneous earthquake exercises should be imperative because the duck cover and hold technique is our first line of defense. Responders may still arrive after 72 hours. Technology like GIS and emergency communication platforms will enhance situational awareness. Crucially, we need the active participation of local communities. Empowering communities to develop their own preparedness plans and training them in basic response skills will enhance their resilience. Public education is vital. Raising awareness, promoting preparedness, and disseminating information will empower individuals to protect themselves and their families. We call on our partners in the media to help expand the people's knowledge, especially because there are a lot of available technologies that can be tapped in their preparations for calamities. As earthquake readiness is a continuous process that requires sustained investment and commitment, it must be a collaborative effort involving government agencies, private sector organizations, and local communities. Let us all face the threat of the big one with courage and unity. Let our preparedness be the start of our resilience. And of course, yan po ang mensahe ng ating kalihim ng tanggulang pambansa. Once again, on behalf of the Department of National Defense, I wish to extend the Secretary's commendations to the Office of Civil Defense Undersecretary Pumaseno and to all of you. He appreciates your presence this morning and encourages everyone to be part and parcel of our disaster preparedness in order for us to be able to face the challenges in the future. Marami pong salamat.